Can you talk a little bit? I know you did last week, but just a bit more about what you hope to see from your 10-12 from Harry, Jamie, in terms of kind of style, nuance, etc., etc.
Um, yes, I thought they did pretty well at the weekend, didn't they, against Scarlet? So, um, we get ourselves in a bit of trouble in the first half where, we don't manage a couple of those aerial, again, like we talked about the aerial as well, didn't we? So we lose a couple of those 50-50s, which gives Scarlet's territory, and then with territory, then we start giving away a couple of penalties. Yeah, some of that's in our control. Some of them were pretty tight calls, I thought, as well. Scarlets eventually get over a try. We lose a man to the bin, but listen, I thought we sort of wrestled control back pretty well, and I think Jamie and Harry then, when we do a possession, I think did a very, very good job in terms of playing to space. You see the try that was scored just after halftime in particular is probably one. But there was lots of good moments from the two of them. So hopefully we'll see some of that similar form today. Granted, they've some few different faces in and around them. So how the group comes together again, it's just making sure we work on that overall cohesion this week. So I said, at least it's been a long week, a decent long week. Last week was a very, very short week. So it's just trying to build on what we did, some of the good things that we did last week. But listen, there was a few areas that we can need to get better at as well.
Yeah, and just a housekeeping. JJ Kenny, is he injured or just misses out?
Just misses out, yeah. And yeah, listen, a tough call, JJ, because he's been exceptional. So, but yeah, listen, there's good quality there. Tommy was man of the match last week, and yeah, between Jimmy and JJ, Hugo comes back into the mix now this week as well. So, there was some tight calls there for sure.
I just like expanding on chatting to Jack about Sam on Monday. I mean, he kind of said he didn't notice much change in him really since the Six Nations kind of experience, but also suggested that there's probably some maybe work-ons from Ireland which we may not necessarily know about that will have to get him back into position, just as maybe Jack had work-ons. I mean, from your point of view, like what does he need to kind of work on or improve slightly, or is it a matter of him just staying the way he is and others are just ahead of him at the moment in your group?
Oh, listen, every player needs to keep pushing on because, the competition is what we want. Listen, we've an unbelievably competitive group. And even though, listen, we have a few niggles, injuries at the moment, but, the group is still incredibly competitive. So, I think it's unfair to talk specifically about one player. But, because Sam is an unbelievably, the things he's able to do, he's an unbelievable quality player. And he's only going to get better. And listen, this is a tight call. I wouldn't read too much into it. It's a credit to Harry because he's come into the group, and listen, he's taken some of his opportunities really, really well. So, but yeah, as I said earlier in the piece, it's going to be a competitive end to the season. We hope, with hopefully lots of games. But again, we can't look too far down the line. But Sam, listen, he's going to have a huge role to play.
Cheers, Leo. Thanks.
Hey, Leo. How you doing? Jerry here. I don't think my camera's working for some reason, which is probably for the best. Great. How you doing? This is a big. This is a big change in tempo, as you alluded to earlier in this chat. Switching suddenly to knockout rugby for the first time this season. Did you feel a different sense in training? Was that reflected in the organisation this week? And if so, how?
Yeah, there's always a different feel, isn't there? Last week, the intent was generally pretty good, but it just still had a feel of they needed to get through that Scarlets game, and there was something bigger waiting. And which is, I don't get that sense this week, as in nobody's waiting for anything next week. It's just the challenge that's in front of us, and that's the only thing that matters right now. So, which is good because that that there's a different level of focus there within the group. So, we need to make sure we get all our things in order and deliver a big performance. For lots of different reasons, but mainly from an internal point of view as to what we want to deliver for each other. I think that's probably the biggest thing that I'm getting from this week. And hopefully that's reflective in the performance that the public will see.
You're obviously very warm favourites to win this tie, and you'd be expected to do so. But looking at the Edinburgh team, they pretty much picked their strongest available side, and their coach has been bigging up this game. If ever a side was designed to swing from the hip, it's them, isn't it? It's a free hit for them in some ways.
Yeah, exactly. Like in Edinburgh, we're here not that long ago, and they were winning comfortably at half time against us. So, we had to kick it to life at the start of the second half, and we managed to come away with whatever it is, a 28-20 win. Was it? But even they missed a kick at the end to make it even closer than that. So, we know they have a lot of quality. A lot of the guys, they're international experienced players, so they're used to performing at the top end of the game. So this is not going to phase them. So they've been here. They know our group incredibly well, and they have a ton of players that have top end international experience. So it's as in they're where they sit in the league. It's going to be a challenge for them to make the top 8. So this is their season. So we've talked about it all week. So our guys should be well ready for that. But it's going to be a serious challenge.
Could you just tell us, James Ryan, just give us an update on that bit of housekeeping?
Yeah, so he just came back into doing some unit work today. So he should be hopefully back for our next game, whenever that's going to be.
Ryan Baird, his timing is impeccable. It couldn't have been any better between RJ dropping out now and then James been a bit risky. Can you just tell me how confident you feel about that? That was timely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and as I said, it was great. He got through last week's training. He did the match day warm up last week. Sat in the box with the coaches. So, just trying to align, be on the same page, and listen, his first game back in a while since November. So, listen, we need to be realistic with some of that, but hopefully Ryan goes well, because he's certainly prepped well and he's done an incredible job with his rehab, and credit to the team here for getting him back in the shape that he's back in.
You've actually spent a little bit of time on working with Brian Deeney this season, sort of logically. So that's time now well spent in the driving seat with him, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. Like he's in Brian, I'm not sure exactly how many games he's played, but he's probably played the most of all those second rows, I would hazard a guess. So again, going back to that part, we were talking beforehand. We did a piece with Des Cal, and we're talking about the twists and turns of a season, but with a number of players being unavailable at different stages, it's afforded opportunity for lots of players to get game time. So those guys should be well able to step into the group if required. But Brian's a good example of someone listening. He's got a ton of game time for us this year.
Do you talk about Bilbao to your players now, or is it literally just one game at a time?
No, there's no talk of that now. Yeah, it's just a week of what's in front of us at the moment.
Yeah. So because I know at the start of every season we regularly hear players talk about winning a 5th star, but like all that talk goes out the window when you're in it.
Yeah, that's maybe good at the European launch, I think, Champions Cup launch. But I haven't heard the Bilbao word mentioned this week until you just said it there.
Sorry, Leo. Just a kind of maybe a flip question. Like Hugo, it was interesting. He was talking to us about the Northampton word, never mind the Bilbao word, but just the fact that there's a few reminders around the place. I don't know if that's kind of scary kind of models of Pollock or something. But just the fact that that's kind of almost a daily reminder in the organization there of not necessarily complacency, but just what happens just if you're not on something on one day, 80 minutes, boom, dead. Is that kind of something that you're keen to kind of drill into them as we head into the weekend?
I'm struggling to think. What did you say? There's a picture of Pollock somewhere, is there?
No. I'm just guessing what it might be. But no, he was just talking about there's reminders around the place about Northampton, whether they're little kind of notes or something, or.
We would always look back on the positive and the negative of what's gone on in the past. So, there's always a bit of imagery around the place. So, like I said, it was a painful day, wasn't it? But listen, that's in the past now. So since then, we went on to obviously have a pretty magical day in Grove Park at the end of last season, and listen, players also enjoy that side of the game. So as I said, it's not the only thing we would focus on, but it's important that we do learn from the past. But listen, we can't live back there either, can we? So we need to move forward and do whatever we can to get ready for the challenge that Edinburgh pose.
Yeah, so but just a reminder of staying in the present, 5:30 Sunday, and just doing your business.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, it's on the day, and it's who turns up and plays the best on the day. So whatever we can do to make that happen.